Coach, things get a little strange there in the second half. It gets tied after a big halftime lead, but your team swings the momentum back dramatically in its own favor. What did you see that changed there in those few critical minutes?
I thought we, stayed composed for the most part. I thought Dallin and Yegor's leadership at that kind of dual point guard position was the difference. I thought there was a key moment where Dallin got us organized. I think Yegor is starting to figure out a little bit of these aggressive defenses and where he can pick his spots. So I thought their leadership in those moments was critical.
Dallin hits two critical threes at that point. Aside from that, what allowed the rest of the offense to get sparked for the remainder of the game?
I just thought, our pace was really good. They're like many teams in this league. They pack the paint, and we talked a lot about, living like a shooter on the perimeter. And when that ball is swung to you, be ready to knock it down. And, Dallin and, like I said, Egor were kind of the catalyst there, but so was Kaba, setting a lot of great screens, rolling, creating that vacuum where people have to help, where he gets dunked. So I thought it was just a composed, unselfish kind of response.
Previously, you've called these little spurts where Egor goes to seemingly another level, the Egor Blitz. He had one of those tonight. What sparked that?
I think he's just learning a lot. It's a big adjustment for him. I just love the way he's been able to sort of respond to adversity. He cares a lot about this team, and he wants to play well for his teammates. He puts a lot of pressure on himself. And I thought tonight he just did a good job of making the right play in front of him and responded when I had a quick hook. It took him out early in the first half and in the second, and he came back in and responded in those moments, and that was a moment of growth for him.
I don't know if you want to call it activated Egor or angry Egor, but the intensity was clearly up. But I noticed several occasions when he was frustrated in the game, you take some moments and you're telling him different things. What are you saying to him in those frustrating times?
Yeah, my big thing with him lately is just, don't think about 8 million different things. Just think about the play that's in front of you. Make the next right play. And tonight he had a short memory in a really good way.
What is Dallin Hall doing specifically over the last two games to take his play to a better level?
I think Dallin's, really responded to sort of some of the changes that we've made. He hasn't sulked, he hasn't pouted, he's embraced it. I think he's embraced his partnership, with Foose. I like their two-man game. Tonight it was a lot of dual point guard play because of the way that they pressure. We needed multiple ball handlers out there. So he's really been adapting to all the different scenarios that he's been in. I think he's finding a comfort zone, and more than anything, he's just being aggressive.
You opted for Mawit Mag to make his first start tonight and change things up. How would you assess how he performed in that increased role?
I thought he did great. He's a guy that brings a height and level of intensity for our group. He's a guy that, kind of just knows what he's good at, knows who he is. On the offensive end, I think he makes, he's a timely cutter, gets offensive rebounds, and so he just did what he does, and he hasn't really had the form to do it. I'm gaining a lot more trust in him and still trust the guys that are on our bench. I thought this was a real collective team win across the board, and obviously Mag was a big part of it.
I heard you say a few times, shoot the ball to different guys. You feel like at times maybe your team was a little too patient with not taking shots?
I thought for the most part we took the shots we wanted. I mean, there's a couple that, against defenses like these guys that are, these programs that are extremely aggressive defensively, and they just play with so much effort. If you pass up a good shot, it's hard to get another good one, and so just trying to wind our guys up. That being said, I mean, to go 12 of 28 from three, have 18 assists on 27 made field goals, that's when things are cooking offensively.
You've been very open about the need to rely on veterans, and there were several occasions where we saw 5 upperclassmen, 5 veterans on the floor together tonight. How is that helping your program right now?
I think it just gives us some stability, trying to stagger some of our young guys a bit more than we were early on in the year. And our vets have been great. They haven't complained when they, maybe their roles weren't where they wanted to be. And, it's a learning process, man. It really is. I'm learning a ton, and, we took a couple on the chin, and I was just proud of our guys for not, sulking. They responded, and it was in large part because of our veteran presence.
From a basketball standpoint, just pure basketball, what do you feel like you did best tonight?
I think our pace offensively. we wanted to push the basketball. That's when we're at our best, holistically, but also against a team like them that we wanted to fight pressure with pressure was kind of our motto. Was a little not a little, a lot disappointed in the 14 turnovers. I felt like 5 or 6 of them we just threw the ball away. It wasn't even forced turnovers. So if we can get that number to a more manageable number and space the floor like we did and live like shooters like we did, and I think our attack against this aggressive coverage is starting to become more intelligent, that's when we're going to really be dangerous.
What's a fair manageable number in that turnover category?
Yeah, I mean, 10 obviously is where we want to be, but even 12 I think is manageable. We want to win the possession battle every night, and tonight it was even on the offensive glass. They turned us over. That's what they do. But so what? You can't just fall into the trap. And for the most part, I didn't think we did. Their pressure, I didn't think is what turned us over. I just thought we made some boneheaded plays.
Finish with this. The emotions of this game got a little bit weird, and it was kind of weirdly officiated. Weirdly is maybe a liberal use of that word, but how do you manage the frustrations of that when those things are transpiring and things are getting chippy?
Yeah, I mean, I try to be as collected as I can be. That's something I learned a long time ago. I've had a lot of head coaching experience under my belt and was not always that mild-mannered when things go wrong. My wife could attest to that, but that I just learned a lot along the way working for really good head coaches in the NBA about just being level-headed. And for me, when I get too emotional, it takes me out of making good decisions. And so try to be a steadying force for our team. I think Cannon will learn from his little deal. I don't know what happened with Trevins, but I think for the most part we handled things pretty well.
Yeah, and you bring up Cannon. What's the status on him, and how's he doing? Because he seems a little frustrated.
Yeah, he's a little frustrated. Excuse me, he's a little frustrated, no question. I think it's part of his growth. It's going through adversity. I think makes all of us stronger. He's obviously have some older guys that are stepping up a little bit, which is kind of took a little dent in his minutes, but he'll respond. I was hoping that 3 in the corner was going to go down for him, but you saw the block he made down there. I've said this a million times over, like I just want Cannon to be the best version of himself come March, and sometimes just watching veteran guys ahead of you is what's needed, and I know he's a guy that's going to continue to work to earn more minutes back.
Coach, we appreciate how gracious you are with your time and the assessment of the game. Wish you the best of luck against Utah. And a fan said, "How was the pizza that Kevin cooked?" Said, "I'll finish with that one."
A+ stuff, man. No, and the house stayed intact. No fires, more importantly.
Thanks, Kevin.
Appreciate it, man.